Research by the Royal Pharmaceutical Society reveals that a lot of people are going overseas without stocking up on the necessary medicines, preventatives, things as simple as sunscreens before they actually travel. And the repercussions are that they're either buying the wrong medicines overseas and not knowing the correct dosage, or they're being caught out altogether. The most common sort of illnesses that people suffer from overseas is probably starting with insect bites. You've also got sand flies. Probably the next most common is diarrhea. Again, we're not used to the sort of water perhaps that we drink overseas, and it's pretty easy to get an upset stomach. Different foods as well. A lot of people, in their haste to get ready, they leave certain things like stocking up on the essential healthcare goods that you might need, and they run out of time. So the idea is pretty simple. Put together a list of things you know you'll need, pop down to your local pharmacy, ask for some advice, let them know where you're going, and just make sure you don't get caught out.
I think with people travelling to more and more exotic places these days, it's really important to start early, and the holiday really should start with a trip to the pharmacist, ideally around 8 weeks before you travel. That will give you an opportunity to check out your vaccinations and whether you need malaria tablets, things like that, which many of those things need several weeks of planning, so getting there early is probably the best first piece of advice. Unfortunately, when you're abroad, because of the language barrier and because we can't always guarantee the quality of medicines abroad, it may be very difficult to get hold of the sort of medicines that you require if unfortunately you forget them and leave them at home.
And the problem is you don't know what you're getting, you don't know what kind of antihistamine, you don't know the dosage you should take. So the moral of the story is make sure you go to your pharmacy before you go away and stock up on the right medicine. I fell ill recently, at the end of last year in fact, with a parasite I picked up in Peru. It was transmitted by the bite of a sandfly, a disease called leishmaniasis that eats away at the skin, and it had pretty intense treatment. I was quite shocked that just a simple insect bite can lead to such a profound illness with a pretty awful treatment process. But I've got through it, and I will make sure I don't get bitten by sandflies in the future.
So if you're going abroad, it's a good idea to take a few essential items with you. These include treatments for diarrhea if that becomes a problem, also things for bites to both prevent bites and also to treat bites if they occur. Some simple pain relief is also a good idea, as well as a good first aid kit, which will have a few basic items in there. And also, of course, not to forget about the sun and make sure that you get some good sun protection.
It's so important to prepare yourself before you go on a trip, partly because it's so easy to do so. We all have a pharmacy near to where we live, near to where we work. You can pop in there, you can get advice from your local pharmacist, but above all, there are certain things you know you're going to need before you travel. Sunscreen, insect repellent, diarrhea tablets, headache tablets, antihistamine. You can put together a pretty good pack before you leave and stop yourself getting into trouble when you are overseas.